All right, guys, I am here with Jonah. How do you say your last name?
Reshley.
Reshley, Jonah Reshley of the Mayhem. So we'll get into it, man. Who
Yeah.
are you? What do you do?
Well, I'm Jonah Reshley with the Mayhem, and I work in account executive in the ticket sales office.
Okay. I know you started out in game day ops. What was that, last year? Last
Yes,
season?
towards the end of last
Right?
season. Yeah.
Um, what were you doing with game day ops? And kind of like, what was your role back then?
Yeah. So I know you met with Danny last week, and the way I describe game ops is we're kind of Danny's at the time Madison. We're kind of his hands on deck. So really, it's just kind of making sure the game show runs smoothly, greeting fans at the door, make sure party decks are all good. We're really just kind of like the on the grounds crew, whether it's chuck a puck, handing out maybe schedules or flyers and facilitate performances. So a little bit of everything. It was actually a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that was first season with the team. And it was around like January, February. You got that full time position in ticketing,
I'd say around February. Yeah.
right? How did you decide that you were going to kind of go from that part time game day
Yeah.
ops and decide, hey, I want to do this full time, and then be lucky enough that there was even a spot available for it?
Yeah, absolutely. So I was very lucky in the sense of kind of right place, right time. I was going through my final semester at Mercer. I planned on kind of graduating a semester early. And so when I started with the Mayhem, I had the role and it was a year-long commitment. So at the moment, I told myself, like, regardless of what happens after graduation, I need to follow through and kind of see it through. And I just kind of stayed hunkered down and was working at Olive Garden for a little bit. And it was a good experience, just kind of getting some reps in, getting some practice, some real world kind of stuff. And then I was very fortunate enough where they had an opening at the office kind of right around the time I was working at Olive Garden, and it all just kind of worked out great. And then the next thing you know, it was Monday morning. It was my first day at the Mayhem, and we had, I think, a 3-game weekend my first week. So it was kind of just hit the ground running, and now I'm here.
Yeah.
So
All right. So we know what you did with game day ops. Danny, like you said,
mm,
covered it last week. You covered it a little bit. You're the first one on ticketing, though.
yeah.
So, account executive and ticketing, what all are your responsibilities? What are you doing for the team and for season ticket holders and everybody that comes to the games?
Yeah. So to give a broad overview is just try to fill up the seats. I know it's pretty self-explanatory, but ticket sales can mean a lot more than what kind of meets the eye at first. I kind of view it more times as kind of fan services and kind of just outreach. A lot of times I don't feel like I'm selling someone something. I'm
Mhm.
more and granted it's hockey. I'm not selling cars or going door to door. It's something I believe in. I personally like sports, so I I don't feel that I'm selling. I'm more just kind of doing outreach, getting to know people, whether it's a group or a fan might email me and say, hey, we just moved down here from so and so, and we heard you had a hockey team. And from there, I'm not selling them the hockey aspect. I'm more getting to know them, kind of getting to know their schedule, kind of letting them know about the team. But at the end of the day, it's really just relationship building and kind of fan services and making sure everyone is okay. And our biggest goal at the end of the day is to make sure people have fun and people know that we're here. And I said majority of my role is kind of regarding that specifically.
So it's the key word that I've been hearing from the other guys so far. Making a moment,
Yeah,
right? Your whole idea is get them here,
absolutely.
make a moment, and hopefully they stick around.
Yeah, absolutely. And kind of like what we say all the time is the hardest thing to do about our job is to get someone in the door the first time.
Yep.
And that's true for kind of any industry, but especially entertainment is. But I mean, me personally, I didn't grow up knowing much about hockey, but I would go to a few Glads games when I was a kid and ended up loving it, and kind of slowly got into the sport. And then kind of my time through college, I knew we had a team and just hadn't had the chance to come down to a game. And then after my first internship, I was sold. Like even as a worker, I was like, I love this team. It's something I'm passionate about. I got chills walking into the arena. Like it's so I hope that most other people also have that experience where you get in the door and the product kind of speaks for itself. It's fun.
Yeah, and I
And
mean
yeah,
that kind of goes back to how like me and Nicole got into it 23-24 season. Um, so now 2 seasons
yeah,
ago, one of Nicole's friends was supposed to be coming up, and we were like, all right, well, what are we gonna do? Like,
yeah.
and I was like, I grew up in Warner Robins. There's nothing to do here, and I
Hmm.
was like, actually, there's a hockey team in Macon. Like, let me look at the schedule. Happen to be having a game that Friday night, and I was like, all right, well, like, we'll get 3 tickets. We'll go get out of the house, go do something that we haven't done yet before. Her friend ended up not being able to come up that weekend, so we brought Frankie along with
Oh,
us.
nice.
Our tickets were right behind the penalty box back when those seats were right on the penalty box that year, and yeah, it was sold
Yeah.
from that first moment when, like, as soon as somebody came in the penalty box and like me and Frankie just got into our chirping and doing what we do, it like became fans. We ended up finishing out the season almost every home game that year. Season ticket
Oh,
holders
yeah.
last year, season ticket holders this year. Unfortunately, not going to be renewing for next year because we're
Yeah,
moving.
unfortunate.
But we will still be supporting the Mayhem team when they
Yeah.
come down to Pensacola every time, and Mobile when Mobile
Yeah,
gets the team in
that's
a couple
true.
of
Yeah,
seasons.
it's very
So,
exciting.
um, right, you said you're not really selling the sport, right? Or you're not really selling a product. You're making relationships, right?
Yeah,
Hardest part, like you said, first time getting somebody in the door, right?
absolutely.
What makes it easier for you? What are things that like we as other fans can make your guys' life a little bit easier and also put bums in seats?
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's multiple answers to this question. I think the biggest thing that helps us is honestly the fans and season ticket holders who already come to the game. They've been such good ambassadors for us, whether it's a Facebook post or telling their friends or they bring the buddy night. It's really word travels. And like, for example, if I see a good movie, I'm gonna let my friends know. So if you come to a good game or come to a good environment, you'll probably talk about it or kind of talk to people around you. And it's just a domino effect. And at the end of the day, like that I think is the biggest thing that makes our job easier is just all the fans' passion and all the people spend their hard-earned money to come out to the game, and that really means a lot to the organization. And the day, like a ton of people find out about us through our fans, and so that I'm really appreciative of that because there's been a ton of people I've gotten to meet through the actions of other season ticket holders, or like just recommending come to a game, or might give their season tickets out to bring the buddy night, and it's just a domino effect. It's
Yeah.
really cool.
Speaking of Bring the Buddy Night, that's November 26th.
I believe so.
Blackout night, the night before Thanksgiving, playing Evansville in those super dope
Yep,
black jerseys.
they're
I
awesome.
love those ones. Um, Season ticket holders, if you haven't already, figure someone to bring, right? Even if it's a friend, family member, someone that who hasn't been to a game or who has been to a game and may not remember, get people to the game. The next big also event would be Pack the
Oh yeah,
Plex
pack the
in
Plex.
December,
Absolutely.
right? What is it, $10,
Yep.
$15
Every
tickets?
seat in the house is going to be $10. So you get that very front, kind of first row and center ice, going to be $10. So it's a big community night for us. We have a lot of businesses out, a lot of groups, very economically sound. So grab your tickets now. They're $10.
Right,
Yep.
awesome event. Like last year's Pack the Plex was middle of November, kind of in that beginning of our homestands. It was awesome. I think we may have played Fayetteville that weekend, which even better,
Yep.
playing Big Brother Club as they
Oh, for
like to call
sure.
themselves. Um, Talking about the promotions though, right? So we mentioned it, Buddy Night for the season
Oh
ticket
yeah.
holders, Pack the Plex coming up. You got any specific? We'll do it on both sides, right?
Okay.
Promotion as a whole for theme night, but also specialty jerseys. Any that
Okay.
you're like super excited for?
Honestly, I'm very impressed with all of our specialty this year. The Graham and the creative team have put in a lot of really hard work, and I'm very excited to see kind of the fan reception on it. I'm super excited. I know Star Wars is always a really big hit with us, so I'm definitely looking forward to kind of see how that goes. Me personally, love it. Definitely like great design. But ultimately, I think kind of over the summer we planned out all these promo meetings, and I'd never gotten to do that before.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a very cool kind of eye-opening thing. Is like I was like, we all got to chip in and kind of do these promos together, and we spent a whole week doing it. And there've been all times throughout the summer where we kind of touched back on it and may have reevaluated what we can do differently. So a lot of hard work has been put into the promos this year, and I can't think of a single one I'm not excited for.
Okay.
It's an easy answer would be River Monsters. I think that
It
always.
was the whole lead up and the all the media and PR
Oh
behind
yeah.
dropping it last year was awesome. I'm hoping that we do something similar to what Fayetteville does, where River Monsters Night is an every year thing, but we also have an additional rebrand
That'd be
night.
super
Like that
cool.
would be
Yeah.
super cool. I love the River Monsters idea, and it really does feel a lot closer
Yep.
to us and works with keeping like the Creek Indian tribe,
Yep.
the local Creek Indian tribe, kind of like keeping them involved with the team
Yeah,
as well.
absolutely. And kind of like to side answer that, I think the promotion I'm most looking forward to would be Olympics night.
Okay.
We're really trying to partner up with Special Olympics groups and other youth sports in the area, and that's something that like me personally means a lot to me and can really hit home for a lot of these kids and make a special moment. And we talk about all the time about making special moments for people, and that's the game I'm most looking forward to like really leave an impact on some kids and kind of just everyone loves the Olympics,
Yep.
So it's just overall I'm really looking forward to that.
Okay. So going back to kind of like our day of the game, right?
Yeah.
Now that you're on the ticket side, walk me through when you're getting here. Let's say it's a normal
Yep.
7 o'clock puck drop on Friday night. When are you getting here? What are you doing leading up to the game? What are you doing during the game? And what time are you getting home?
Absolutely. That's a great question. I think that was the biggest shift for me from game ops from last year to full-time staff. It's just more like game days last year would I would arrive a few hours before puck drop, would eat, kind of get ready to go, and then next thing you know, it's puck drop. But typically on a normal game day, it's a normal work day where we arrive at 9 o'clock, we have things we need to do, we have emails, calls, and game days are honestly like our Super Bowl in the ticket office because people have questions about tickets, and rightfully so. They
Yeah.
want to call us, and so game days are really just all hands on deck from the second you get in the door. And honestly, it's kind of addicting. It's like you gotta lock in or get left behind. And working with such a great staff and people who are so passionate, those are the days where I feel the passion and feel the excitement. And it just kind of snowballs from there. And next thing you know, it's 7 o'clock. So I guess long-winded answer is we do a lot of our normal day from 9 to 5, and then kind of around 3, 4 o'clock is when some of the game ops staff might arrive and we have meetings. And then that's when I really got to hit the ground running. Got to put my suit on. I kind of feel like I'm Clark Kent sometimes, Got to suit up, and then it's just a whirlwind from there. Next thing I know, I'm at fan information or running around the arena, and kind of on game day, it kind of really depends on the weekend and what we have going on. But typically, just the way our staff works as a whole is just it's all hands on deck, and I'm going to keep saying that throughout the podcast. Is there are times where I'm helping out with merch. There are times I'm kind of talking to Graham, or I might help him, and that's the way with everybody in the office. So a typical game day could be a multitude of a lot of different things. And personally, that's my favorite part about this job is it's very rare that you know what's going on that day.
Yep.
And I love it. It keeps me on my toes. And yes, there's some stress involved sometimes, but if it's not stressful, then it's probably not worth my time. And it absolutely is worth my time to be stressed about. So love it. So kind of a long-winded answer, but a little bit of everything.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
always something new going on, always something to challenge yourself.
Yeah.
And I'm the same way, right? If I start getting stuck in a rut where I know exactly what I'm
Yep.
doing that day, I start to get bored.
Yes.
And when I get bored, I end up getting a little bit lazy
Yeah.
with it, right? So I fully get like wanting to challenge yourself. Let's see. So what's one thing you've seen both sides, the behind the scenes chaos, you've seen like the fan side going to Glad's
Yep.
games as a kid. What's one thing that fans we may not realize is happening behind the scenes during a game day?
That's a great question. I think I was very naive going into kind of this job as well as like I don't think anyone realizes how much goes into sports as a whole until you do it. And kind of I've been avid in sports my entire life, and it was still a really big wake up call for me when I started. Like the best example I would use is Chuck a Puck. It's a small segment throughout our game. It's a very fun segment. You buy chucks, throw them on the or buy pucks, chuck them on the ice, and then next thing you know, it's over. And probably lasts around 3 minutes of the game staff. But that's one of those things where like we got thousands of pucks in a box and
Yep.
they're unbranded, and we have to print out little like QR codes for them, tape them on there. So even just print them out and tape them, that probably took 3 hours of our day maybe. And then we have a system where we scan it into a spreadsheet, and then that's kind of a interesting process as well. So something as small as like our game show might take 2 minutes, it might take 3-4 days of preparation and counting just to have that ready.
Yep.
And that's something that occurs before every game. So if we have a Friday night game, there's a next Saturday night game, we're not going to get ready for tomorrow until we know we have all things in place, such as Chuck a Puck, or such as making sure the party decks and ice table suites are kind of ready to go. So I think I could honestly talk for hours about all the things that I wasn't aware of that go into sports leading into it. And that was definitely a big adjustment, but it's kind of a light bulb moment where you're like, yeah, like we have everyone up there in the front office. We have great ownership and great support, but there's a lot of instances where we're kind of like, oh, I wonder how this is going to get done. And then
It just
it just
happens.
has to get done. Yeah. And so that at first that was a little kind of an adjustment, but then I learned to love it, where it's like, yeah, things need to get done, and rain, storm, or shine, we got to get the game show on. The players got to take the ice, and regardless of what's going on before then, things need to get done. And so there's a lot of stuff like that.
Cool. All right, so just a couple more questions
Yep.
before we wrap up. Now that you're, almost always working with the fans, like game day ops, you kind of got to interact with the fans, especially like during the intermission games and everything. But now in your role, you're a lot more fan, or almost to say like customer
Yep.
facing role, right? You got any like favorite fan interaction that you've had so far?
Oh man, there's a ton. I think the one that sticks out to me the most is, I think it was earlier on this year, towards the end of last year. I had a family come up to me, and I think I was working the chuck a puck table, and I was doing the chuck a puck, and this little girl came up to me and was like, "I love coming to Mayhem games with my dad," and like it's just small things like that where I'm like, wow, like
Yeah.
I knew she came with a performance group, so that may not have been a fan who already knew about us. And then she came in, had a great time with her dad, and then we ended up seeing them at more games. And that's kind of like, that's my reason why, and that's kind of why I got into sports, is like stuff like that.
Yep.
You know.
All right. And then favorite memory since you've been with the team, right? You've got a couple seasons under your belt now,
Yeah.
right? What's your favorite memory so far with the team?
Um, there's a lot. It's hard to pick. I think kind of a small answers would be the school day game. I'd never been a part of something like that.
It was
I
insane.
Oh
I
yeah,
loved it.
I got full body chills when they were singing the national anthem. Like I think it's just that's the reason why. And I think kind of like from a staff viewpoint, there are times like after the game where it's a little bit late at night, kind of maybe like we're all kind of long busy day, and there's kind of an hour of like delirium in a sense where everyone's just like cracking up, like we're all laughing. And those are some of my favorite moments kind of working here, is like we're all in the front office, we're all eating food, kind of decompressing about the game, and there are just times where we're all just laughing, and it's like kind of delirious almost. And
And it seems like with my interactions with you guys and being able to come in and talk to you guys like during the day like this, you guys are pretty close in
oh
that
yeah,
front office. Like
absolutely.
even though like you've got creative has its own office,
Yep.
corporate sponsorship has his office, and then you guys in ticketing have your office, but like even then, like you guys are
Yeah.
all like really close and really friendly, and I know you guys hang out outside of
Yeah,
work too.
absolutely. And I was actually talking to my mom about this recently. Is like she told me that the older you get, the more you'll be able to realize when something is special. And I've felt that way about this staff, like kind of throughout the whole summer. Is it feels special
Yeah.
more than like, yes, it's a passionate group. Yes, they're all very talented and very intelligent, like a great group of people. But there's a layer of it too. Where it's like there's more to it. Like yes, they're all my friends. Yes, we hang out outside of work. We have fantasy football leagues. We talk about TV shows we watch. Like I genuinely consider them to be my friends and not just my coworkers. And I haven't worked long in my life. I had a ton of different jobs and met a lot of great people, but this is it feels special to me.
It's
Yeah.
unique. It really is unique when you have a job that you truly feel like
Yeah.
they're your friends, and like you can be you've got your work
Yeah,
friends,
of
but
course.
like having to be able to say they're your friends
Oh yeah,
outside of the office,
absolutely.
so unique, and
And
like it's awesome that you guys have that here.
it really adds a lot to the workday and kind of the final product. Like to give an example, like Sarah's performance of the Hoedown Throwdown, her dance I thought was awesome.
Between that and the Pink Pony Club was
Yeah,
cracking
absolutely.
us up in my
And
row.
it's really fun, and the kind of like that's the environment that everyone in the office has created for each other. And like Sarah's like relatively new with the organization, but the fact she felt comfortable enough to dance in front of thousands of fans that she's never even met
Yep.
before at her first game, like that, what I'd say is most indicative of the kind of environment that everyone in the office has created. And there's so many days where I'm just very grateful and appreciative of to work with just such great people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Two more questions left. These are going to be they're kind of my standards now.
Okay.
If you could swap roles for one game with anyone in this building, right? Be staff, Graham, Danny, players, coaches, equipment managers. Who are you swapping with and why?
I think that's a great question. I'm gonna do two answers here. So from a work aspect specifically, I gotta go Danny, because I know how passionate, how hard he works, and he's just a very hands-on kind of person. And the watching him do all the work and the preparation leading up to the games, like he kills it. So I think like I don't really get to see him up there in the booth like in his element. So I'm interested to see kind of what that process looks like. Like, how is it calling a game show? Like, is it? I don't know. I have a lot of questions about that. So I've kind of naively swap with him and just throw myself into the fire and kind of see what
Okay.
happens. And then the fun answer would be Chuck. I would love to swap with Chuck because he kind of gets to enjoy kind of his staff and enjoy the teams. And I don't really see him much on game day, and so I'm more just curious on where does Chuck go and what does he do. And
I'm also
yeah,
curious. Like, there's been a couple times when, especially last year, Finn being the headphone baby
yeah,
that everyone
yeah.
loved, right? He wouldn't even like notice me or notice Nicole, but he would see Finn in his
Oh,
headphones and
nice.
just go, "Headphone baby, let's go!"
Nice,
Right?
awesome.
He'd be like, and it would be like out of nowhere. Like, um, for the cancer night, we were representing her mom who wasn't able to make the trip up here for that night,
Mm.
but we were down on the glass and like Chuck saw that and was like, "That's awesome." Then after one of the auctions, we were kind of like hiding in the back a little bit, and he just came up and started talking to us.
Oh,
Like
nice.
Chuck's a great guy. SPHL fan page may hate him, right? Because he can be a troll, and I think it's hilarious most of the time. But it's also who I support, right? He's a
Yep.
businessman at the end of the day.
At the end of the day, I have nothing to do with that fan page, and I'm not a member of it.
That's fair.
So
That's smart.
whatever occurs
It
there
is
is
smart not to be.
not my business. So
Okay. Last question. One word. How do you describe this year's team?
I'd say rugged. They're feisty.
Yeah.
Like I would like they're the kind of like if someone takes their ball on the playground, they're gonna get that ball back.
Yeah.
So
It's a
I
lot. It's a lot more physical of a team than last year.
yeah. And honestly, my final answer I'd say excited. The team's excited.
Yeah.
I don't get to watch much of the game kind of on the game day, but I know how the fans I kind of see them and kind of there's just an energy about kind of the team this year that it may have been there last year and I just don't remember, but I just it could be the excitement of the new year, but the team feels very fresh and feisty and
I will say one home game under our belt so far, but that was in a different
yeah.
environment. That home opener for us this year, it just felt different
Well,
than it
absolutely.
was
Yeah.
like even last year's home opener or other games. Right, there was a lot more energy. Crowd numbers, I think we were still under that 3,000 mark, but like it still felt like we were
Oh yeah.
packing this place,
Absolutely.
which is awesome.
And that's mainly to credit the fans that the season ticket holders who've been coming here for a while and the newer fans. Y'all are so passionate and you really add a lot of energy and vibes to the arena that you can't really just you can't create unless you just have it. You
Yep.
know, so a lot of fans like they'll bring the horns out and bring the whole group and bring their family and they really add an environment to the stadium. We're so appreciative of that. Like I feel it coming in. Like I know that like y'all are very passionate about the team, and it does mean a lot to us. And it does kind of domino effect to the staff and the players. And so keep up that energy, keep coming out to the games, and let the Mayhem know you're cheering for them.
Cool.
Yep.
Well, I appreciate you
Absolutely. Thank you for
taking
having
the
me.
time
Of
with
course.
and hanging out with us, guys. Once again, that's Jonah. I'm Nick. Thanks for watching.